Hello, friends. Welcome to your reading. This is for the Lionsgate 8/8 portal, and we're going to ask Spirit what is coming for you now in the Lionsgate portal. And in each pile, we're going to have some messages on what's coming for you in the portal, some shadow aspects, something that you might need to face, or what you can do that might be blocking you that you need to remove, and some advice on how to do that. So we have piles 1, 2, and 3. Pile 1, if you like to choose by crystals, is the lapis lazuli, and it's also the mermaid tarot. Pile 2 is the amethyst crystal, and it's the craft tarot with the gold edges there. And then pile 3, we have my Kambaba jasper palm stone, and we have the old style tarot. So take a second, pause the video if you need to, pick which pile calls to you, or you can always, if 2 piles call to you, by all means, or watch all 3. And I will try to remember to put timestamps on the video so you can skip ahead to your pile. So we're going to start with pile 1 and the mermaid tarot. So first, and I'm going to put them up here on my new little thing here so that you can get a good look at the cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, we have the Magician. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. Just wow, wow, wow. So for pile 1, and I really hope that you can see these good, you are manifesting wealth and magic, and you are just wow. Whether you're wanting to manifest like a new job, a successful career, maybe you just wanted more money, maybe you needed to pay some bills, maybe you've been wanting to sell a home or an asset or piece of property or something. You could be manifesting that some gifts or inheritances from the universe may be coming in. So this could be a number of different things, but this is a lot of wealth. Like the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles are like the best you could get for wealth cards. And of course the Magician, we know, is all about your power. You are the magician. And the Queen of Pentacles is like literally ruling her throne, or on her throne, ruling over her kingdom, the successful kingdom that she has built. So I feel like you're really, a lot of you that pick this pile are trying to manifest a job, a new job, your own business. Maybe you have a business but you want it to be like more successful, you need more clientele or more sales, and that's exactly what's happening in this Lionsgate portal. And of course, don't forget, this is a powerful time of manifesting anyways. And 8/8, of course, 8 is the number of infinity, but also wealth and abundance. So for this pile, this is a massively powerful time for you to be manifesting wealth into your life. So now let's look at, you know what, I'll just leave those and put these over them. So we're going to use the Black Tarot and the Ars Goetia here to show what might be stopping us here. So we have the Five of Spheres. I actually didn't realize that you got 4 cards all together here. We have the Five of Spheres, the Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Ace of Pentacles. So 5 of Spheres is 5 of Pentacles. That's like loss of money. And 9 of Swords is your own fears and anxieties and being just plagued by fears and doubts and anxiety. So obviously you've had a loss of money before, or you've been struggling, or your finances have been an issue. Maybe you just had a job loss. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe your career didn't take off the way you hoped, or you didn't have, enough success in the beginning as you thought. And so now you just have a lot of limiting negative beliefs and fears surrounding money. And it's just going around and around and around in your head. This is going to block your manifestations if you can't release these fears. And of course, the Hanged Man is about going within, reflecting, quiet time. Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity. So they're telling you, as far as shadow work goes, you really need to go within and do some reflecting, see where these negative beliefs are stemming from, realizing that just because there's a loss or something happens before does not mean that that's what's going to happen again. In fact, your cards are so amazingly positive, and even in this shadow section of this pile, you still have this opportunity popping out here at the end, this new beginning. So if you are able to release these limiting beliefs and fears you have because you had a loss before, because of maybe it's family, it could be generational, maybe you feel like you're not worthy enough, or you have some of these programs like, money is the root of all evil, or you have to work hard and suffer to get money, or something like that. So really spend some time today going within, write it down in your journal, write every single belief that could possibly come up that would prevent you from being able to manifest wealth in your life. Why do you think you don't deserve it? Why do you have this belief? Who did it come from? Who says that you have to hate your job in order to make money, or you got to work 60 hours a week to make money? Who says because you weren't successful before that you won't be again? You know what I mean? So really take time to reflect on where your beliefs are stemming from, and to believe that you will be successful this time, that this new opportunity is coming, that you are powerful, and you are successfully manifesting wealth now. And then I chose oracle cards. Here we have the Earth and Bone Oracle for the end as to advice, or what can you do about it. We have the Warrior, which is strength, clarity, and presence, and then we have Specters, which is discernment, critical thinking, and insight. So here we have clarity and presence and critical thinking and insight. This is like, you couldn't have picked two cards that were more like in alignment with each other, especially in alignment with the Hanged Man. So this is really about having the courage to move forward now. If you just had a new offer, do it. If you've got a new idea for your business, do it. Even if your business is just starting out and you've had a loss up until this point, keep going, because it's going to be successful. You simply need to work on your own thoughts and have your own discernment. Are these fears real and valid, or are they just plain fears from the past or from someone else's beliefs? So it's really all about your thinking and your thoughts today. Your own mind is going to be your own worst enemy, which, isn't that true? Who isn't? It's like I'm preaching to the choir, because it sure is for me. So, you really gotta get in there and clear that shit out, like the specters. It kind of makes me think of like skeletons in the closet. Get those skeletons, those monsters, out of your head, telling you that you're going to fail again, or your financial situation's never going to improve. Get all of that out, because you have beautiful, amazing cards telling you that you are most certainly the magician and powerful and manifesting wealth on this Lionsgate portal, if you just don't stop yourself with your own thoughts. Okay, so that is the advice and what's coming in for pile 1. Beautiful. So now, if you chose pile 2, the Amethyst or the Craft Tarot or Craftarian Tarot, let's see what we have for pile 2. Oh, we have Knight of Cups. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune! And 9 of Pentacles, which is Wheel of Fortune. Wow, we got 9 of Pentacles on a different deck and a different pile. I like that. So, perhaps if you kind of felt drawn to pile 1 and 2, you might want to go back and watch 1 if you didn't, because they have the same card here, a little bit of the same thing going on. So there's a turn of fate, a turn of destiny coming in for you. One cycle's ending and a new cycle's beginning. And this new cycle is bringing something that brings you emotional fulfillment. So it can be love, or something that makes you feel loving emotions, or creativity, and wealth at the same time. I love how these cards actually came out on either side of the Wheel of Fortune. So if you've been in a tough cycle, it's ending now, because the Wheel of Fortune, remember, is the 10 card. So that's the end. That's the end of a cycle. Something is turning. And because of these 2 cards on either side of it, it's definitely turning in your favor. This is going to be bringing in wealth, prosperity, abundance, and somebody with an offer or opportunity or something coming in that brings you joy, love, emotional fulfillment. It could be a person. It could be actual love at the same time. So let's delve deeper into the rest of the cards and see. We have the Black Tarot and Ars Goetia here for what could block you possibly. What do you need to know that might be in your shadow that you need to integrate or address here? So we have the the Nine of Pentacles again. Wow. Nine of Spheres is the Nine of Pentacles. Sorry. I don't know. I'm hoping you guys can see these. And then we have the Lovers. Oh my gosh. Wow. And then we have Berith. I hope I'm saying that right, with the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so there's definitely, this was such huge confirmation that there is two things going on here. You're going to have a choice of two jobs or two people or two relationships. The Lovers is not only about lovers, and because you got the Knight of Cups, so for some of you, this definitely could have a theme of love and partners in here, but the Lovers is also about choices. And because you got the Two of Pentacles, that's definitely a choice. So you may be facing a choice of two different job opportunities. It's even possible that one might make you feel more like creative or emotionally fulfilled, but one might bring more money. So you may have to decide which one is more important to you. You could be deciding between two different types of, two different people or two different relationships, in which case, obviously, as the Knight of Cups, you know, your intuition, you go with your heart, go with your intuition. You know truly inside what is the right decision. I definitely don't think it, in the regards to love part, I don't think it's telling you, you know, choose the person that either has more money or makes you happier. No, we want both, right? But no, no. It's trusting in your gut and what brings you more emotional fulfillment. And I believe what the cards are telling you is that if you follow your heart and your intuition and what is going to bring you more emotional fulfillment, that is also going to bring your wealth and your abundance and your prosperity. That it's almost like the Knight of Pentacles is like a bonus or a side effect. If you follow your passions and your dreams or your gut or your heart in whatever this decision might be, the wealth and the prosperity comes with it. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. You know, if you had a choice between a job that was like, well, you get to follow your passion and purpose, you get to make your own hours, you get to create your own product line, you know, whatever. It just like super excites you. But maybe you got this other opportunity, but it's like the same shit you're doing now. It's like a 9-to-5 typing away, but it makes like $1 more an hour. And maybe this one doesn't necessarily come with a pay raise at first, but you're like super excited about it. I believe they would say, they're telling you, I will go with that one because, and here's also some more of what I'm hearing, is that you don't know what it will lead to in the future. You have no idea if choosing what makes your heart sing will not lead you to more money and wealth and prosperity in the future. In fact, if anything, I think they're saying that it most certainly will. So again, if you're choosing between jobs or people or relationships right now, you gotta trust in your heart and your gut. And I know a lot of people say that, and yeah, trust in my heart, but really, you really do know. I'm gonna use my favorite example here. Flip a coin. Oh, I wish I had a coin, but you know, flip a coin, aside your choice to heads or tails. I don't know if this necessarily would work as well with people, but at least for like jobs or something, assign a choice to each side and then pay attention to your immediate reaction. Do not question it, do not doubt it. Don't look at what the actual outcome is. How did you react? If you flipped, you know, job A is heads and job B is tails, and it popped up job A and you kind of went, or you rolled your eyes, or you were like, oh, that figures in your head or whatever, that means you don't want that. If you flipped it and you got choice B and you smiled, or you were like, yes, cool, or, you know, had some kind of immediate reaction like that, that's your answer. And that's why I love giving that example. Anytime things like the Two of Pentacles or the Lovers come up about choices, If all else fails, do your flip a coin, and your gut reaction, your bodily reaction, whether you smiled or frowned or shrugged or rolled your eyes, gives you your answer, what you really want right then and there. So let's see what the oracle cards, we have the Tree of Life oracle for your advice. Ooh, we have the Devil and the Lovers. Wow. Okay, talk about major confirmation. This pile is 100% choosing between two people or two relationships or two jobs, or you're gonna be, maybe you have one now, and this Wheel of Fortune, this turn of fate, is that one is ending or leaving your life. That could very well be it too, and a new one is coming in. So, don't fear the devil. I'm gonna get into a whole video about the Devil card and my journey and how I came to terms with it and learned all the deeper esoteric meanings of it. It's not, just the scary bad card, and it's just purely, your addictions and what. It's not. There's so much more to it than that, but I'm gonna make videos on that. But yeah, because this says truth and illusion, and this is Lovers again, about choices, don't allow yourself to be deluded by things that are no longer good for you or toxic for you. I always tell people too, if you have to question it, if you have to ask people, this person does XYZ, I don't know if I should be with them or if I should stay, or you're going to look for readings too much perhaps, or whatever. If you're questioning it, that probably gives you your answer right then and there. That probably tells you that needs to go. So you need to let go of all illusions or attachments, toxic relationships or behaviors. This could also be definitely about codependency. It can talk about that. To be strong enough to walk away from these things so that you can attract the right kind of love and the right kind of relationship to you. And again, yes, this could be also in jobs. You could be in a toxic, unfulfilling job, but scared to walk away from it because, you might lose money or think you will never make as much money again or something like that, when something much better for you is waiting for you and the universe wants to bring it to you. So make sure to release toxic patterns, behaviors, codependencies, fears of leaving what you have now because nothing better is ever gonna come in, or you may miss this new beautiful opportunity, this beautiful new person, relationship, or job coming in if you're not willing to let the old one go. Okay, hopefully that all made sense. Okay. And now, if you chose pile 3, the Kambaba Jasper and the Old Style Tarot, and we actually got 4 cards for this pile here. So, okay, we have the Knight of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. Wow. Okay, we really have some overlying themes in all 3 piles, so I would not be surprised if all of you watching this felt called to 1 or 2 or all 3 of the piles, because, 2 or all 3 piles, because we have a lot of 9s, which is about letting go of the old and welcoming in the new. We had a lot of 5. We had a 5 of Pentacles showing up twice, which is about big change, and especially as Pentacles in regards to earthly material matters, career, finances. So we have a lot of 9s and a lot of 5s and a lot of money too, a lot of financial things going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were called to more than one pile. So the Knight of Wands, this is actively pursuing a dream or a career or a passion. You had an idea, you had something you've been focusing on, wanting to create. This could be a website, a YouTube channel, a book, artwork, business, whatever. This creative passion and drive, perhaps you already have been working on it or did. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands showing up, which means it may have not been successful at first. You may have lost some money. You may have tried to start something and it just failed, or it just didn't work. Or because you're too defensive and too worried and scared about your finances, you really couldn't delve in deep as much as you wanted to. But then we have the Nine of Cups coming out at the end here. Again, 9-9. It's like you can, in this 8-8 portal, be stepping out of this old energy and into this new energy, which the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. So this is beautiful. These are beautiful, joyful, loving emotions, something that really, really makes you happy and fulfilled. And so my instinct, we're going to get into the other cards here, but my instinct is that if you started something and it didn't take off and it didn't happen and you thought this is really the path or the whatever for me and it didn't happen right away, don't give up, because your wishes are going to be fulfilled. It's going to work. It wasn't the right time. And I'm feeling called to like share my story a little bit. I'm going to share my whole story a little later on this channel, but I too tried my spiritual channel, and I finally, I started my spiritual path about 10 years ago. I started to learn, tarot and Reiki and all kinds of things like that. And I had a YouTube channel and an Instagram under a completely different name. Some of you that may see this have followed me since then and will know what I'm talking about. And it did not work how I thought it did. In fact, I did end up as the Five of Pentacles. I ended up with no job, with no money. My daughter and I went on a crazy adventure, but I'm not going to get into all that right now. And I was very distraught and very afraid to try again. I most certainly had extreme defensiveness about trying again. And, if you try to go for your dreams, you're just going to fail and end up homeless or penniless or whatever. And as I've, of course, progressed on my journey now 10 years later, I know that that is not the truth at all. And I have now rebranded. I have a new Instagram channel, YouTube channel. I am successfully manifesting my dreams right now as I'm sharing this with all of you. And I can see now why it wasn't divine timing and why it didn't work out the first time. Multiple reasons. I had layers of trauma to release, limiting and negative beliefs to release, and et cetera, et cetera. I, didn't approach things in the right way. So this is why also with these piles, I decided to include this middle part about the shadow aspects and what may be blocking you from achieving these good things coming in, because that's a passion for me now, helping people to dive into their shadow and what traumas they haven't released, what negative limiting beliefs they may still have that may still be holding them back, and as to why you may feel like this isn't, if you try again, that you may fail again or it may not work. And I can assure you that that's not the case. So let's see what the Black Tarot and the Ars Goetia has said about, yes, see, I knew, I'm getting confused because I left these upright. Let me just turn these back over because I'm looking at these. Okay, so here's the Tower moment. Here's Malphus, and we have the Tower moment, which I know no one likes to see. But then we have the High Priestess and the Four of Swords. I feel like this really resonates, so I really needed to tell you my story in this pile because I feel like this is exactly what happened to me. Like, I had a Tower moment, and sometimes, of course, we think at first that it's the worst thing that could possibly happen, whether it's job loss of job, loss of home, a path that didn't turn out the way you thought, a business or project you tried to start that failed, or it could be anything, loss of a relationship, friendships, career path, finances, whatever it is. But, and this is why I love working with the Ars Goetia, and I love this Black Tarot deck, and I love working with the shadow side, because we have to realize that it's through the dark that we get to the light. The lotus blooms from the darkness. It blooms from the mud. You cannot bypass, the dark. You can't just keep your skeletons in the closet. You can't just ignore it and just find the way to bypass it and go around it. The only way to the light, to healing, to manifesting what you want, to becoming the High Priestess is to go right through that shit. You gotta go through that Tower moment. Let it happen, because I promise you, in hindsight, hindsight's 2020, when you look back, you are going to see why it fell away, why it didn't work, why it had to leave your life. What no longer serves you is going to leave. And if you don't willingly yourself walk away from it, the universe is going to come along and give you a gentle, loving push and make it fall away because it knows it was not in your highest good, in your best interest. So my pile 3, I believe you've probably been through something like this recently. And so now it's a time of rest. The 4 of Swords is about rest, reflection, the shadow work, going within. Just take time to meditate, rest, journal, whatever it is that you like to do. Take a bath. Stop talking to people if you need to. I don't care if they're family members, friends, coworkers. If you need to cut people off, cut them off, because I did for a while. And I'll get into that another time. You know, sometimes these relationships are meant to be mended in the future. Sometimes they're not. Either way, much spiritual learning and growth will come from this. If you need to cut off narcissistic, abusive, toxic people, then you do it. If you need to take a vacation, if you need to lock yourself in the bathroom for a while and get away from your family, whatever you need to do to take the time to rest, connect with your spirit guides, connect with your demons, your spirits, your whomever you like to work with, your ancestors, journal. You need this time for yourself because you cannot start building a new stable foundation if you're still trying to build on the past traumas and negative beliefs. You have to get to the root and dig that shit out from underneath your tree, dig that rotting thing that's at the core of the roots of your tree before you can pour in the water and the sunshine and the soil and the new healthy stuff to grow a new tree, which bears, beautiful fruits that you want to bear. And so here we have the High Priestess. I love the High Priestess card in any deck. She's absolutely one of my favorites, which is the balance of masculine, feminine, light, dark, right and left, the balance of the pillars of mercy and justice. You need to take this time to balance yourself. Realize you need the balance of the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, to become the High Priestess, to be able to get to this 9 of Cups here, to your wish fulfillment, to see that these things that you went through were for your highest good, were for your growth, and you would not get to where you need to get had you not been through that. And let's see. So we have the Green Witch Oracle for our advice cards. We have the Oak Tree, Power, Courage, and Strength. How crazy is that I just used a tree example and we have the freaking oak tree, one of the most magical, strongest, powerful trees. Oh, I love the oak tree with the acorns, which symbolize wealth and success and prosperity, interestingly enough. So, here we had this 9 of Cups, and I was talking about, here it is. This is what I wanted to get, the 5 of Pentacles. If you had job loss, no, your prosperity and your abundance is right here. You just need to realize your power, to have the courage and the strength to go through this, to process this, address your shadow, do the self-inner work that you need to do, and realize that you have the power to be this new, prosperous, strong, abundant tree. Wow. And then we have leaves on a tree, renewal, revival, and progress. I swear to God, you can't make this shit up if you try. I couldn't have picked 2 better cards to go together, let alone with this reading. Renewal, revival, and progress. What comes after death, my friends? What comes after the tower moment and the tearing down and the tearing away? But revival, growth, renewal. You are assured that you are now growing into a healthy tree. You're going to grow into a healthy tree. That when you continue and go back to this idea that you had, it's going to be successful and prosperous this time. That you are making great progress in your personal and spiritual growth journey. That yes, you can get to this 9 of Cups, this wish fulfillment. Yes, you can do this work. You are strong enough. Not everybody chooses to do the work, to do trauma healing, because it's not fun. It's not easy, and it's not always necessarily short. It could take months or years. But I could tell you from personal experience, and again, I promise I'll make a video in the future about my personal journey. It is worth it. I used to always be like, oh, I wish I could turn back time and do XYZ differently, blah, blah, blah. And now finally, where I am in my path at 48 years old, I could tell you that I no longer wish to do that. I wouldn't go back and change one single thing, because I would not be where I am right now. I would not have learned what I learned. And if I had continued trying to build that business and what I was doing in my channel and everything that way, it wouldn't have been successful anyways. I was attracting the wrong people, the wrong kind of, I didn't know how to protect myself, clear myself. I was attracting narcissists and people even in the magical new age communities on Facebook groups who were just feeding off of my energy and messing with my head and, all kinds of things, because I hadn't finished peeling back the layers of trauma and getting to that root and digging all that shit out first and working on myself and studying and learning these practices before doing what I was trying to do. And so I wouldn't trade anything I've been through. Now I'm so happy for the learning and the growth, and this is exactly what you're doing. And yes, you are going to reach this wish fulfillment, and you are going to be successful this time, okay, my friends? So don't give up. Okay, so that is our beautiful Lionsgate portal, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for my future videos. Blessed be. Bye.